The International Business Leaders Forum has a programme called the Digital Partnership, which aims to promote affordable technology for countries or communities that are in need. And IBLF is proud to have been working with the Ethiopian ICT Development Agency for the last 4 years.
The whole aim is about capacity building ICT across the nation. So this initiative was taken by the Ethiopian ICT Development Agency, funded by the World Bank, and in technical support by the IBLF International Business Leaders Forum.
The main aim of the programme was to establish 2 sustainable facilities in Ethiopia, one of which is a computer refurbishment and training centre where donated high quality ICT equipment is brought in from international donors and professionally refurbished and processed using Microsoft authorised refurbisher software for deployment on a cost recovery basis to those in need, including schools and hospitals and community recipients.
At CRTC, whenever we get the computers at our warehouse, what we first do is, first they are physically cleaned, then followed by testing of each component in the system. Then there is data wiping, where we use the latest technology software for data wiping, and then the software will be loaded. As this center is also Microsoft authorized refurbisher, so we have this opportunity of getting Microsoft software, Windows operating software and Microsoft Office at lower cost, $6 each. So the software will be loaded professionally and then they are activated. So there is also a bigger advantage for end users to have legal software on their PCs. And also we give them with user's guide and to do minor troubleshootings themselves. That would enable them to do minor troubleshooting by themselves.
The other aspect of this training centre is this computer refurbishment and training centre is that it provides practical training in ICT and basic business skills to vocational graduates, to university technicians.
This is the training room for the Computer Refurbishing Training Center, which can hold up to 48 students who can work and learn different aspects of computer hardware and software skills and development.
We have learned a lot, and really thank you for those of you who contributed a lot for the training. Thank you so much.
The ICTAR project has established more than 65 ICT community centers. These all ICT community centers use these refurbished PCs. Besides that, there are many community-based organizations that we give them, free of charge.
So far, the center has refurbished more than 5,000 computers, and the PCs have been deployed to various end users, recipients.
We have seen the impact, after 3 or 2 years, because it's a very low cost computers.
And when you come to brand new computers, first of all, they are very expensive, maybe 5-fold of CRTC price. So it's very expensive, and that's one reason many schools, health centers and community centers are without computers.
I visited almost all these centers and they are very happy using these used computers. In some areas, especially in incubation center, the computers seem to be low because they use programming, they use graphics and others. These computers may not be suitable for such purposes. Otherwise, for Microsoft applications and others, it is very helpful.
So from what you know or what you've experienced, what have you heard or seen about a lot of used computers coming in from America, Europe, Japan?
Yeah, great care needs to be exercised, from the government side and from stakeholders with that regard, because, the computers mostly are imported through private businesses, there is no standard as such. So probably they just pay taxes on the import, and then they process them in their own way. So I haven't heard any formal research on the matter, so I can't really give figures, but in thousands, in tens or 20,000s, I suppose.
To build ICT capacity within the country would not be socially responsible if we did not have a environmentally sound processing at when the computers can no longer be used.
Of course, the Ethiopian government is also aware that we are also constructed a manufacturing center. So, of course, from the Ethiopian case now, we are now not big in e-waste problems, but we are still in a threat that a number of computers are being here, and there need to be some demanufacturing mechanism so as these e-waste materials will not affect the environment of Ethiopia.
This is the facility of Ethiopian Demanufacturing Facility, which is working on demanufacturing ICT equipment for the purpose of finding a way to control the e-wastes which are growing in this time of the at this time, especially in the developing world.
In fact, when we decided to establish this refurbishing center, as these computers are used computers, after some years, they may be obsolete or old. Therefore, we should not put as such unused computers in dump area. It has to be recycled or it has to be used for other purposes. Therefore, in order to keep the smooth operation of this RTC, we have to establish this manufacturing. In addition to that, the IBLF has a good experience in setting up such facilities. They convinced the government, the use of this manufacturing, because there are other companies, even private companies, that imported used computers. There are many computers that have been imported before some 20 years or 18 years. Not only these computers, there are also other electronic materials which need to reuse these electronics, because the wastage from the electronics is very dangerous. We know that these are very sensitive and has a negative impact on the environment. Therefore, we have to take care of these things. For such purpose, we decided to establish this Demanufacturing Facility.
The project involved the procurement of high-quality processing equipment, the establishment of best-in-class processes and technology, and hands-on training by U.S. e-waste processors to guide the center and its staff in creating and running a safe and effective demanufacturing operation in Ethiopia. Local operators learned about global e-waste issues and the e-stewards program, and the Ethiopian Environmental Protection Authority visited the site and was consulted to help inform policy decisions about e-waste in Ethiopia. The program managers and the technicians have really taken over this project and looked for ways that they can build sustainable businesses within Ethiopia by looking at a way to generate revenue from the recycling of equipment and make sure that they're funded for handling the hazardous materials in a proper and sustainable manner.
For example, from these copper wires, the technicians have they try to suggest us that they can reuse these copper wires for rewinding another motors.
We've also been able to take a look and visit many facilities in the area who could potentially process some of the fractions generated from the demanufacturing of the electronic equipment, and to actually see some of the steel cases that are being harvested out of used computers being taken just 2 kilometers down the road to a steel foundry where they can be put straight into a furnace that has proper controls and then made into construction rebar material that's reused right in the same community.
The outcome of this project are very new to the country. Most of the project deliverables are new. There were no community ICT centers in the country. It is the first time to do it. There was no any TOT program, training program for ICT teachers in the technical vocational school. We did this. There was no any refurbishment Demanufacturing Facility. There was no any incubation concept. We established 4 incubation centers in 4 towns of the region.
We've been involved in a lot of donation programs where people have been interested in collecting equipment to donate to developing countries and to international programs. But it's really been good to see with my own eyes that this program really is making a positive impact on the country. And it's not just distributing computers out to people without the support or guidance. All the computers are going into centers that have the proper equipment and training of technical support staff to use the equipment properly. And so the usable equipment coming from the US and the UK and other countries into this Ethiopian program are being used properly. And for those that don't make the trip too well, if they get damaged on the way, or if there's some problems, or if they need to be recycled at the end of their life, this center has its own quality demanufacturing program, which will make sure that the old equipment is recycled properly to the standards that are similar to what the best companies are doing in the US and the UK. They're following the highest standards related to environmentally sound management principles, worker health and safety, and also security too, to make sure people's data is wiped properly and all the assets are tracked appropriately to make sure nothing is sent out that shouldn't be.